Hi, it is November 24, 2023, and it's almost the end of the month. It is just after the Thanksgiving, and we can see that the market has a lot to thank for, especially this November. In fact, the S&P 500 is closing at its near highs. We have the Nasdaq closing higher, and you've got a lot of small companies, small caps actually following with a broad-based market rally, and it isn't just the Magnificent Seven holding the markets up. So today we'll be discussing what actually is happening and is this seasonal year-end rally going on to until February, which is typically how strong this season is. Let's begin. Okay, we are presenting a few data for you. So one of the biggest movements actually for the week happened on November 14, and we discussed it actually with our members on November 15, which was the CPI inflation cooling off, triggering extension rallies, small caps gaining a lot. In fact, the percentage of advancing S&P 500 stocks, as mentioned also by the compound, has breached 90%. You've got a lot of S&P stocks at 50-day highs at 23% that day. And it continues to grow in many consumer cyclical industries. We've also seen a lot of retail and apparel have good earnings within this week, even if it was a shortened week. More importantly, we saw, of course, that there was no let up in Nvidia's rise with a very good number, and therefore you have a lot of FOMO alert. The rate cut euphoria has put global bonds on course to erase 2023 losses. There's a lot of rate relief wagers, and the markets in general have basically sold down the dollar. The dollar has fallen quite a lot. Regional bank stocks has risen after the yields on the bonds have also dropped. So you essentially have almost all the regional banks going up, small cap stocks going up. You have a lot of stocks going up, and that makes it a broad based bullish market in the short term. And this one is a very good data to share to all of you, given by Ryan Telford. Of the 29 times that IWM or the small cap index has made a 5% move in a single day since 2023, since 2003, which happened in November 14, it almost always has a very high percentage of making a positive movement on the next 6 months. In the 18 times over 29, it's greater than 10%, and 7 over 29, it's 0 to 10%, and only 4 over 29, or less than 11 to 15%, is the only time that it will be negative. So, are you gonna position, therefore, in a year-end rally, considering data benefits the bulls? Since the bulls are showing that there are indeed a lot of bullish, still bullish action, we saw that the largest inflow actually happened towards your microcap ETF and your Russell 2000 ETF, suggesting to us a spillover effect since that time frame. And let's take a look at the movements over that time frame. If IWM or IWC are rising, we should be able to see a lot of companies that are rising as well. Very small companies. So far, we are actually seeing that. Let's do it sector by sector. In the regional banks, if you take a look on it over a week span of time, performance for the week, for the regional banks, there's still a down 9%, but for the month, it's up 30%. You've got Home Street up 30%, Comerica still up, Jones Lang LaSalle, KeyCorp, Western Alliance, PacWest, CBRE, Metropolitan Bank, Citigroup, Webster Financial. You can see that for the month of November, these small companies or the small regional banks and small real estate have been rising, closing, and trying to raise their losses year to date. Although it's very hard to really close that loss year to date because most of these regional banks are down between 50 to 80% for the year. Then again, if you are looking for bargain hunting opportunities, it looks like the market is showing a bit of a money flow already within the regional banks. Again, there's a bit of a money flow in the regional banks pertaining to Home Street, Jones Lang LaSalle, Keep Corp, Western Alliance, PacWest. Next sector to look at would be your EV tolls. Let's take a look at that. Your eVTOLs for the performance of the year. Actually, eVTOLs have done well with Archer Aviation rising 200%, EHang 80%, 70% for Joby Aviation, and only Lilum was actually down with 26%. And for the month as well, Archer Aviation, EHang, Joby Aviation, and Lilum continues to be strong. So flying air taxis have done pretty well. You are seeing also that over the last couple of weeks and this month, you are seeing a sign of movement in cancer related plays. So these are, of course, high risk items or very unprofitable names. But for the month, some names like Selectis, NanQuest, CRISPR Therapeutics, Altamira Therapeutics, Editas Medicine, Beam, Precision Biosciences, these have gone up as much as 40 to 50 and even as high as 180%. So let's take a look at these movements, guys, in the biotech. Let's show you that movement. ARCG, which is the ARC Genomic Fund, is actually an ETF that houses a lot of these names. And you can see that for the month of November, this has risen from a low of $22 to as much as $28. Whether this becomes a V-shaped rally going to as far as 30 to 38, it is highly possible as demonstrated with the momentum in the charts. So watch out for the movements on ARCG. Again, for ARCG, what are the typical names here? You've got Selectis, moving up, you can see that move. You've got NanQuest. Wait, what's the name? NantQuest Inc. NantQuest Inc. Well, that might not be in the. You've got CRISPR as usual. Yeah, CRISPR, Editas, Beam, that show to you. CRISPR has gone up in a very strong move from $40 to as much as $70. So take a look at the movements there. CRISPR, Beam, amazing movements. Beam has gone from 17 to 29. Intelia has already gone up from 23 to 30, and this could catch up further to 48. Editas has gone from 6 towards 11 in just a short span of time. So this could be triggered by short covering, or it's also being triggered by interest rate cut expectations. Point is, a lot of biohealthcare, biotech is actually following the run-up, and this is quite an outperformance. Again, we also said that IWM, which is the Russell 2000, has been moving up. And for the month of November, this has gone up from 162 to as much as 178. And we can see that the bullish momentum is still strong, which can trigger it to go to 185 towards 190 and then finally 197. So there is still a lot of bullish action that is still playing the Russell 2000 and the microcaps. Let's show you the microcap ETF. Microcap ETF is showing signs of relief, and this is quite a broad-based move. Okay, so that's your Russell 2000 and microcap ETF. Let's show to you the regional banks. We're seeing also a lot of bullish movement. The regional banks are showing a potential double bottom here, and it can even break above 46 for quite a good year-end rally. So today's topic is positioning into the year-end rally, as you are seeing that the SPY is pretty toppish, although it could still go higher. The SPY is already trading at 455 and is just a few notches towards the all-time high here at 480 in December 2021. Your QQQ is also trading at 390, which is very close, a few notches away to your 410 previous high in December 2021. So that is, of course, brought about by Microsoft trading at all-time highs, now trading at 378. You're seeing still strong action with Apple trading at 191. Of course, NVIDIA did not disappoint and even raise guidance. It's now trading at 480, but it looks like even if there were strong numbers, NVIDIA at 480, 490, it's just staying there. Downside, though, we expect to still be just here at 400 or 365. There's really still a lot of bulls that are maintaining their bullish bias on NVIDIA, and also a lot of semiconductor stocks like AMD still trading here at 122. You're seeing Avgo, Broadcom still strong. here at about 976. And even if there are some profit taking in some AI names like Palantir at about $20, that's still quite significantly higher than the previous highs of 20 and still actually about to make new highs or even try to retest these previous 2021 highs of $28. So far, the bulls are really on top and in control as of most charts. Let's take a look at movements, really dramatic movements. What you may not have been aware of is a lot of gap ups have been happening, not just in those sectors, but even in the apparel and sportswear. So Burlington stores actually went from 130s to as high as 171. So pretty strong beat there. Take a look at CrowdStrike that's now trading at 209. So this is quite a V-shaped reversal, almost a V-shaped reversal from 300 to as low as 90. And it's trading as much as 209. This is quite a strong movement to the upside. CrowdStrike, Palo Alto Networks. So a lot of cybersecurity names are trading pretty high. Palo Alto Networks is trading at 263. Let's take a look at Zscaler. Zscaler is trading at 190, also trying to recover. You're seeing Datadog, also here at 112. So far, there's quite a lot of software as a service names going up and really beating earnings and actually getting a lift with gap ups. So pretty strong movements. A few names that have been pretty strong in the gap up field has been Gap. Gap went up 30% after earnings here and now trades at $19. You're seeing actually a lot of restaurants actually, which had a wipeout of gains, actually start recovering. You'll notice for Darden from 170 that fell all the way to 132. This is quite a sharp recovery towards 156 since the low here on October 13. You're seeing the movements in many companies to the upside. Of course, Chipotle is still rising, now trading at all-time highs at 2,200. So quite a strong movement. Mercado Libre, let's show you the movement. Mercado Libre is now trading at 1,525. So there's quite a lot of bullish action if you'll notice. Let's take a look at Visa here. Visa is trading at 253 all-time highs. Let's take a look at MasterCard, which are your fintech. It's also trading at 411. Take note that the movement's quite a V-shaped reversal. Now, we're just commenting here on the charts. And you can see that the charts are pretty much very, very bullish for a lot of sectors. So a lot of people are also trying to buy the beaten down. Let's show you some beaten down names. In the fintech, you've got Square rallying from 39 towards 60. We think that this can even rally towards 65. So there's still strength in the movement overall. PayPal, let's take a look at PayPal, also trying to go out from their bottoming out zone here from 50 to 56. You've got Affirm, actually very strong movement towards the upside, especially after the earnings. From about 18, Affirm is now trading at 25. So a lot of bears are actually mutilated in 2023, to be fair. The charts are very bullish, and so far there has been a lot of short covering as well, I may say. Now, would it be possible that Chinese stocks will finally get the love? So far for A shares, we haven't really seen that love, but there are some stocks that may actually find some love with a fake breakdown. You'll notice that Alibaba from 88 here fell all the way to 78. So far, if this reclaims back towards 80 and 84, it looks like the gap down on the disappointment of people on the delay of their IPO spin-offs on their cloud business and their Lazada International for next year. It could still actually go up. So it looks like Alibaba is just consolidating here. Of course, you've got some Chinese companies that are trading higher, like Pintuotuo. Pintuotuo is now trading at 117. You've got companies like Miniso, still high, despite that drop here at 24. It's still pretty high considering it fell towards $4 just last year. You can take a look at a lot of movements to the upside in Chinese names like NetEase. Let's show you that movement. NetEase is now trading at 116. So it actually already reclaimed above the 107 and it's now trading near its highs. We are seeing actually a recovery in AI named Baidu. From about 110, it's now trading at 120. we are of the view that there are Chinese companies that are being picked up and dips are now being bought and bottom fishing is abound. JD here is trading at 27.28. It looks like there's a bottom fishing ground here from 24 to 32. For those who are interested to buy some beaten down sectors, a lot of names are bullishly setting up. So for a position, it could be an attractive one to look at JD. Let's take a look at the movements of small companies like Unity. Unity, even if there was a CEO resignation and a change in command, you'll see that Unity, after a 90% drop, is showing a lot of buyers here at 22, closing in at 28. And even if there is still unprofitability, this can go as high as 49. So let's watch out for these types of names. Notice Lemonade also had a strong beat. Lemonade is now recovering, showing that the insurance sector is showing signs of better than expected numbers. At 10, this is now trading at 16. Cloudflare, let's take a look at Cloudflare. Cloudflare is now trading at 73. Some software as a service names. A lot of casinos are going higher, like DraftKings, sports betting. DraftKings is still continuing and ongoing the rally from about a low of $10 this year to as high as 38.68. We are seeing signs also of bottom fishing on Invesco Solar ETF. Solars are showing a carve of a bottom here from 41 to 46, more as a catch-up play, not as an outperformer, but just catching up. And from a catch-up play, Enphase has been doing its part from about 80. It's now trading at 100. Maybe it can recover towards 120. Solar Edge is also trying to recover here at 79, maybe perhaps towards 111. Among Dollar Tree and Dollar General, notice that there are strong movements also to the upside. However, it can be muted here at 130. But the point is, almost all companies, including retail, are showing some moves to the upside. Dollar Tree. Target, here about 130, still maintaining that gap up lead. You are seeing, I'm showing to you a lot of charts so that you can see that there is indeed some love happening. So far, Bitcoin is also rallying here at about 37,000, thus triggering Coinbase to trade near highs here about 110. So it's back towards the previous highs of 110. Look at the movement of MicroStrategy, trading at about 511. So it seems like the bears are actually going to be served up, as this might actually continue going higher if Bitcoin continues higher. So there's still quite a lot of bullish action. There could be some catch-up plays for Bitcoin miners. Take note that CleanSpark is showing a lot of bulls at about 350 to 4.8. Let's take a look at Bitfarms here. Bitfarms showing some bullish setups here from about $1 to 116. A lot of people are positioning towards a year-end rally. Even emerging markets are showing signs of a bullish action. Emerging markets going from $36 to $40 this month of November. Indeed, we're seeing signs of bullish action towards stock market. Let's take a look at your US 10-year yield. US 10-year yield for the month of November has also dropped from 5% to 4.4%. The DXY, which is your dollar currency index, has dropped from 107 to 103. So with the dollar weakening, you've got the yen showing from 151 to 149. You've got the market buying a lot of gold. You're seeing gold go higher here at $2,000. And with gold stocks following up, gold miners like NEM trying to follow a catch up here. From about 34, is this trying to rally towards 37. You're seeing AO, which is another gold company, Anglo Gold, trying to recover here. KGC, another gold company, Kinross Gold, trying to recover and going higher. We're seeing some bullish action on gold. We're also seeing bullish action on silver. I showed you silver. Silver here has rallied from 13 to 14. Not as aggressive, but there is some buying action. Copper is also getting bought. This is your COPX. Take a look at FCX, Freeport McMoran, getting bought. If you're bullish on small companies, we would advise that electric vehicles, of course, are getting bought as well. Take note, Tesla here, even if there is a drop here from 240 all the way to 200, this is sharply getting bought at 232. And although there will be some resistance here at 260, we are of the view that this is actually a consolidation that will still prevail to the upside. So there's still a lot of bullish action. Those who want to buy electric vehicles like Tesla can actually consider buying dips because we're still seeing a lot of bullish movement. Of course, you can't go wrong with Tesla, but you might want to also take a look at some Chinese vehicles. Let's take a look at the movements in Chinese vehicles. Li Auto has been rising. XPEV also trying to carve a bottom fishing. So people are starting to really appreciate even the small companies. XPeng are going from 13 to 18. This was a rally this year from as low as 7 all the way to 18. Rivian, we understand is here at about 16, can actually be bought towards higher prices. Um, you've got C Limited, which disappointed, but in our view, because of almost all the money flow to the upside, there could be a chance that people are buying companies that are very low, even if they are unloved. We're seeing that happen with Disney. Disney here at about 80 has rallied towards 96, almost a 20% rally. Warner Brothers, we're seeing that movement also to the upside, but more ferociously for Roku. Roku has gone up all the way to 96. So that was quite a substantial move. This was a 70% rally in just a month since October 30. So there was really a strong movement to the upside on outperforming names like Arc Innovation. Take note that Arc Innovation went up from 35 to 45. That is a 30% increase in a single month. Indeed, you heard me right. 30% increase for Arc in just a single month. Let's take a look at ArcX. ArcX is rallying, which is your 3D printing and exploration stocks, also rallying from 1250 to 14. So this was broad based. ArcF, which is fintech, is rallying from 17 all the way to 22. Again, broad based. How about for housing? Let's take a look at ITB, which is your home construction ETF. Again, broad based. This went from 70 to 86. For home construction ETF, you can take a look at KB Homes. KB Homes has rallied from 42 to 53. How about uranium? Uranium is trading near highs. Uranium is trading at $29. So there has been quite a strong movement in a lot of US names. Uranium names like Ura is trading at 29, back towards those 22, 2021 highs. URNM, Sprott Uranium Miners, very strong here at $50. Cameco J, very strong here at about $45. Still trading at all-time highs. UUUU, which is a fuel related to uranium, also trading at highs here about 8.5. Small caps in the uranium zone, Denison Mines trading high here at 185. We saw a lot of supports here at the dollar. So I think it's pretty clear that the market is showing a lot of bullish action. No, I don't trade anymore in eToro. But we are actually showcasing that the market is very, very high. And there is a catch up in the movement. We're seeing a lot of stocks rise. Let's show you some consumer staples that are going up. Hershey's, we find it attractive here at 185 to 190. So although consumer staples will be slow, we think that this drop from 280 to 190 is already ample ground for those who to start buying a bit. Hershey's company. Let's show to you XLP or consumer staples as a whole. Consumer staples mostly rallied on account of Coca-Cola and Pepsi rallying up as well. Let's show to you Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has gone up from 52 to 58. Pepsi has also gone up from 155 to 169. Let's take a look at the movement on Walmart. Walmart fell after the earnings. That's a gap down just due to valuation. However, we think that Walmart will get bought here about 145, considering the strong liquidity flow in the market that is still present. So it seems like people are still in a buy the dip mode, especially in this year-end situation. So people are still in the buy the dips. And we would argue that SPY, even if it drops, it can only drop with a lot of buyers here at 445 and 438. So drops will be bought in the short term. That is your SPY. And QQQ still has a lot of buying action here at 380. So a lot of movement really happened after the CPI ended up with a very low inflation. So I guess the US people have a lot of Thanksgiving goodness to a lot of things to be thankful for. Their stock market is doing well. And it looks like if you want to buy beaten down stocks, I'm showing to you. Home Street, looks like if, these beaten down names are also getting bought, no? So these are actually patterns of accumulation already. If you want to buy some beaten down names, if you don't want to buy beaten down names, you can just focus on the big banks like JP Morgan. JP Morgan is showing that V shape reversal, perhaps towards 156 again and higher. So we're noticing that a lot of V-shaped movements have been happening in the market since last year, this October 2022. And despite indications of potential recession, the market has been able to stave off that recession due to better than expected earnings, beating expectations, softer inflation, cooler data, and perhaps interest rate cuts are priced in for next year, with the US 10-year yield also showing that potential drop after hitting as high as 5%. Okay, so really strong movements. I analyzed which companies are going to get loved, if ever, because of a seasonal rally. And I believe that there are still quite a lot of attractive movements in China. Let me just showcase this to you. This was the Chinese market yesterday, and today actually had a dip, but we think that that dip was a buying opportunity. In particular, Tencent has been rallying. It has actually gone bounce. It was bounced off from 280. Alibaba here at 77 is one of the stocks that I would be happy to get into. China Mobile is still pretty strong. Most banks in China I would avoid, but it's good that it's actually getting supported at these levels and it's bouncing off from its lows. Unprofitable names like Meituan are also getting triple, quadruple tested. NetEase trading near highs. CNOC pretty strong. We're also seeing energy names. I forgot to mention energy names. I'll show to you XLE. XLE has been neutral so far. So overall, XLE is sideways whenever it drops below 80. There are a lot of buyers, just like what happened here in June. But it also has some resistance at 93. You can see that for XLE, that typically moves with ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil has quite a lot of buying action here at 96 and some selling pressure here at 120, more like a range. Chevron, let's show you the movement. Chevron is also in a range with some supportive action here at 145 and pretty strong dividends as well. If you want dividend plays, we would still highlight Hormel Foods here at $32, looking to be a good supportive area. Looks to also other good names in the staples is Tyson Foods here at about 46 to 48. Let's show to you KHC, which is Kraft Heinz, just trading at $33, $34 as well. So there's quite a lot of consumer staples that are interesting to pick up, even at this November 24 time. If you want to enter some Chinese stocks, you can take a look at movements in China. Let's show to you Haidilao. Haidilao here at about 16 looks to be a place where a first support can be had. You've got potential movement to the upside to continue for Xiaomi due to a strong operating system and strong sales on their Xiaomi phones. So here actually it's been recovering from 10 to 12.50 and dips near 15, 14 are being bought in my view. So Xiaomi, Baidu. Let's show to you Baidu. 9888. We're seeing bullish action in Baidu. So look at the movements here. In case you want to enter at 110 for Baidu, there's ample room to enter Baidu. Solars are beaten down, but you're seeing them being picked up a little bit, picking up. So here at about $4, still depressed for solars. Still depressed, but could rebound. Let's show to you small companies like Copen. Copen has rebounded from $1 back to 158. There is still resistance here at 170 and a lot of resistances here at $2 above. But looks like the action is more like a flag. So just watch how these things move as IWM is indeed getting a lot of buying action. So this flag is still intact. There's not much in the ARC space. A lot of them have already rallied. So you saw ARC names go up 30%. Amongst the Magnificent Seven, They are still just trading near their highs. So Google is trading near highs here at 140. Amazon is trading near highs here at about 147. So there's no such thing as being able to buy these Magnificent Seven. It would be a chase. In case you want to see the only Magnificent Seven that is not yet at near those highs, is it's Tesla. Netflix is also trading back towards 480. That was a wild V-shaped move from 350 after earnings. This rallied to 400 and all the way to 480. Meta is outstanding, trading at 341. More importantly, this rallied from 89 to 340. The substantial gains in 2023, guys, has been phenomenal. It's brought about by a lot of short covering. Expectations were wrong that the market would be dropping, and yet it was a bear trap. We can see that October 27 was a bear trap. Bears were seen to be in control, only to be handed over week after week of data that was better than expected, earnings coming in better than expected. And you've got semiconductors also powering with this AI fueled rally. I think that the market is expensive, if you'll ask my opinion. However, expensiveness does not mean that the stocks would fall. It could fall if the stocks have a slowdown by next year. But as we've seen this year, since the data has all come out as a beat, we would still see that year end rally. So from November 24 until perhaps December end, you'll see a lot of buy the dips and a lot of chasing for any action. So that's the reason why we're seeing IWM and IWC, and perhaps even China will rally as a result. That also means that even Philippine stocks may also rally as a result of this pretty strong seasonal year end rally. That ends my day, and I hope that you have a good evening. Thank you very much.